This is the second question that came through. What is a deeper meaning behind resilience, health, and well being? Not just surface level as they become words branded about, but through examples.
So what is the meaning of resilience? That's a great question, and actually quite a difficult question. So if you look at the research that's been done by psychologists out there, you'll see a whole lot of different definitions of resilience. There doesn't tend to be a consensus on it being one thing. What we tend to agree on is that it's made up of a number of different components. And in fact, our team of psychologists did a meta-analysis of the research that was out there to try and work out, exactly answer that question. What we came to were 4 essential elements of resilience, 4 components that make up resilience. First one being situational awareness, the second one adaptability, the third one resourcefulness, and the fourth one decisive leadership. Now, there's a lot involved in each of those, and I won't go into that right now. It's actually, we talk about it in one of our courses. But that's kind of the technical explanation. I think the everyday explanation, what is resilience, is it's the idea of bouncing back. And so if you go through something challenging, you fall down, how do you pick yourself up and keep moving forward? But we actually take that a step further, and when we're educating people around this, we say, it's not just getting back up again, but it's also not falling down in the first place. So I use the example of, my son learning how to walk. In the beginning, all kids, they want to learn how to walk, they fall down, they get back up, they fall down, they get back up. But eventually they don't fall down so much anymore. And you learn to walk, and most adults can walk now without falling down most of the time. And that's kind of that idea of resilience as well. It's the preventative as well as the response to challenges. And so that can be developed. It's not something that we're born with a fixed amount of resilience and that's who we are. It's something that we nurture and build over time, just like a muscle. And I think one of the other terms that's really frequently used is emotional fitness, because that sort of taps into that idea of fitness. And you need, sometimes you need to go through challenges in order to grow that muscle, in order to build that emotional fitness. The other example I would give is if we talk about resilience from a physics perspective, it's the ability to withstand pressure. If you think about a metal bar or something, it's how much pressure can be put on this before it starts to bend, or how far can it bend before it breaks. And so that idea is sort of flexibility and adaptability.
So since you've asked for a deeper meaning of resilience and mental health, I'm going to do a little bit of an exploration of that. When going back to that metaphor, which is not a metaphor, it's a reality of life, of observing my little one Lucas when he was crawling, but he was starting to crawl and learn and wanting to walk. You could tell that he was moved to walk, and there's an important aspect because he had a go a few times, quite often actually, and he kept falling down, but he didn't stop. And there's a couple of reasons why he didn't stop, and it is good learning for us in this. One of the reasons why he didn't stop is because he checked with us, and we didn't overreact as if something bad had happened. So we didn't go, oh my God, he's falling down. But we normalized it, and we said, yeah, come on, try, keep trying. So he believed that was okay. It was okay to fall down. And the other thing that I noticed, he was not walking or crawling for absolutely no reason. There was a big motivation behind his reason to walk. There was a shiny thing on the other side of the room, something really attractive that was moving him to walk. And this is something that we forget as human beings, as adult human beings, is that sometimes we don't lack resilience, we lack the reason to move. There's a difference between resilience, which is a natural state. Resilience is a natural state. It's not something that we have to get, it's something that we got to get in touch with. But many of us are missing that shiny object to strive towards, that reason to strive towards. And that's when we get in trouble. We become mentally unhealthy because we haven't identified a shiny object. So my question to you is, what's your shiny object? Is it strong enough to move you? Because if it's strong enough to move you, nothing will stop you. You will be resilient because you already are.
So to give an example of what resilience looks like out there in the world, I always think of the extreme examples, people who've been through something really traumatic, really difficult, and I remember seeing a TV interviewer with a guy who'd been held hostage for 12 years or something and had survived that without losing his mind, without going. I think that's a pretty good example of resilience, what most people would call resilience. Everyday resilience is, I think, being able to cope with more and more things without losing your mind, without getting stressed, without struggling emotionally. So you see people who go through life and, sure, problems arise, but it's never a problem for them. Things come up and they deal with it and they keep going forward, and it doesn't sort of register on the emotional radar. But the challenge with that is that then raises the question, well, do you need to be unemotional in order to be resilient? And I don't think that that's the case either, because if you didn't have emotions, you wouldn't really be human. You wouldn't be experiencing all the ups and downs of life. Hi, I'm Emmy Golding, Director of Psychology for the Workplace Mental Health Institute. We hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to give it the thumbs up. We have more and more videos being released each week, so when you subscribe, you'll get a notification letting you know when a new one's just been published. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and don't miss out on this vital information for yourself, your colleagues, and your loved ones.